Good afternoon. The time now is 12:30 on your Tuesday. I'm Julie Broughton. This is News 6 Extra. We're so happy you're spending some time with us today. If you've been outside lately, maybe taking a little walk at lunch, letting the dog out, you know the heat is sticking around. We are talking about another day closing in on record territory with our afternoon highs well above normal, topping out in the mid-90s. We'll take a look at your 7-day forecast coming up in just a few minutes and talk about when we'll see a little bit of relief and also when we'll see our next best chance of rain. It's coming up in just a few minutes. But first, if you have joined us on News 6, you know that drug trafficking is a huge problem right here in Central Florida. And on the law enforcement side, it can take a lot of resources to investigate and eventually bust these criminals. News 6 anchor Ginger Gadsden went for a ride along with Volusia County Sheriff Mike Chitwood to show us what goes into serving a warrant.
If we're stalled for any reason, I'll call for a break of the 3 side windows as a distraction.
So right now it's about 5:30 in the morning. Sheriff Chitwood is here. It's a briefing with the SWAT team. They're about to serve a warrant on a mobile home. The suspects are possibly dealing methamphetamines, and they're going over all the details of how to make this as seamless as possible.
Target is Brian M. Clarkson, 927 and 95. He has a criminal history of armed trafficking and meth ×3.
For a seamless operation, the sheriff's office and SWAT team go over every detail of who they are looking for.
His girlfriend, Alexandria Wyman, 911 and 95. She has trafficking in fentanyl, possession of meth, heroin, hallucinogens.
In all, there are about 35 people involved in carrying out this search warrant. Besides the SWAT team and sheriff's deputies, members of the Edgewater PD and of the East Volusia Narcotics Task Force were also there.
And Halifax is our closest trump.
Once the details are squared away and everyone knows their positioning,
Going out in 2 minutes.
it is go time.
Narcotics got a complaint about sales coming out of a house. They did a little bit of recon and discovered that the person who lives in that house has been arrested before for armed trafficking in meth.
Is that why the SWAT team's here?
SWAT team is here because based on his criminal history of possession of a firearm and armed drug dealing, it knocks the score up higher.
So you got to make sure that the person you're looking for is actually at the location.
Actually at the
How do
location.
you do that?
They have surveillance, and they've been surveilling this guy since 11 o'clock last night. So we know he's in there because he got out. He got up this morning, and he moved his car to let his father get out to go to work. So we know he's in there now.
What they don't know is how the suspects will react to that early morning knock on the door.
No two are alike, and you know, there's sometimes we'll pull up with all of this equipment, and you'll knock on the door, and they'll open the door and let you in. There's other times that you hear the footsteps running around. They're trying to flush the drugs. They're trying to throw the drugs out the window. And there's times you get in there and you have lots of guns and people are armed. You know, somebody's laying in bed armed with a gun. A couple months ago, the guy wouldn't get out of bed, and when they had forcibly ripped the sheets off of him, he was laying there with a gun in his hand.
Sheriff's office, search warrant, open the door. Residence of 4348 Indian River Drive. Exit the house. Sheriff's office, search warrant, open the door!
The left one. The back one. The left.
I was just cooking breakfast.
Okay. All right, just relax. Just relax. Just follow their instructions, okay? So he is obviously the guy we talked about.
That's him.
That's him. That was his girlfriend when you saw in the briefing. I think they're going to do really well in there. He's got a gun. He was in bed with a gun, as we just talked about on the ride here. There's nice wad of cash in there. There's meth in there. So they're going to find enough stuff that hopefully this time he stays in jail for quite a while.
So what will happen now with him?
They'll bring him inside the house, and they will, on video, read him. They'll videotape everything, read him a copy of the search warrant, why we are here, what we are searching for. They'll give him an opportunity to talk to us if he wants to talk to us. He may not. And then eventually he'll make his way out to the branch jail where he'll be charged again with armed trafficking and whatever else they get out of the house.
On this morning, everything went according to plan. The suspects were found with 1 kilo of methamphetamine, which the sheriff tells me has a street value of about $42,000. Drugs and drug money that will not end up on the streets of Volusia County. Ginger Gadsden, News 6.
Wow, that was so fascinating. If you'd like to watch that again, of course, you can check it out on clickorlando.com. A lot to take in that story. Now, we've been telling you lately about how Orange County Public Schools, the district, is seeing a drop in enrollment. News 6's Angie Quesada shows us that drop in enrollment is actually impacting how they're building new schools.
Ensuring that we have a sufficient contingency fund balance will provide some measure of financial stability.
Orange County Public Schools has opened nearly 30 campuses in the past 10 years, but now that building boom is coming to a halt. The district will open just 3 more schools by 2026, then none until 2031.
The current state is that our projections are we have some declining enrollment projections. That reduces the need for new schools because enrollment is declining.
OCPS says enrollment will drop by more than 3,000 students next year, largely due to expanded school vouchers that are pulling families towards private and homeschooling.
And that's been the case for a few years, where as we look out 10 years, we're projecting fewer schools than what we've had in the past. Still have a very, very robust renovation program. In fact, we're as busy as we've ever been.
So that's like making major upgrades to the current schools you have?
Yes, yes, and that's the bigger part of our overall construction program.
Luminary Elementary opens this August in Lake Nona, and 2 more schools are on track for 2026. But after that, no new campuses are planned until the end of the decade.
And allow us to respond effectively to unexpected challenges.
Despite the pause in building new schools, OCPS says their focus is on long-term growth, especially in areas that are fast developing like Lake Nona and Horizon West. Reporting in Orange County, Angie Quesada, News 6.
Stay with us. We're going to take a short break, but when we get back, we will be checking in with News 6 anchor Bridget Ellison, and she has a really interesting story for us about a new program helping nurses who may be dealing with burnout. And we will, of course, talk about that heat that we are all dealing with out there, with our afternoon highs today climbing near record territory in the mid-90s, but we do have some rain in the forecast. We'll break that down for you coming up in 2 minutes.
Hello?
Eric, oh my goodness, I need your help. You're never gonna believe what just happened to me.
I'll be right there.
Oh, great, Eric, thanks.
Hey!
That was quick.
I am the handy newsman.
Yes, I need your help.
It sounded serious. What happened?
I was washing the news car, sprayed me.
Okay, I got you.
All right, Eric, here it is. I'm throwing it away.
No, don't do that. Destiny, I have never thrown away a hose in my entire life. Most of the time, you can mend it. In fact, there are all kinds of hose mending pieces you can get. I actually keep a few in my workbench. We're gonna cut the hose, put the new end on, and then it should be almost as good as new.
Good. You can come back.
Okay.
All right, so I finish it going.
Ah! Ah! That was terrible. You got me good. You got me good. That was awful. I hate snakes, especially when I think they're real.
Got him.
Anyway, step 2. We want to put the mender on the cut to make a new hose end. So I just loosened up the collar. Make sure to slide it on first. Now we're going to put the end into the hose. But hold on, house hack. Take your sprayer and take the new end and screw it into the bottom of the sprayer. Reason is, you kind of just made a handle for yourself. Look at this. That was the hardest part. Step 3 now, just slide the collar into place, tighten it down. And that's it.
Hey, Eric, great. Thanks. Can you help me wash my car now?
Yeah, of course.
Perfect, thanks.
Sure.
Do you mind turning on the water for me?
Oh, would love to.
Great. Ow! Turn it off!
Told you I'd get you next.
Really? Well, good. Now you can help me wash the car.
Yeah, hold on.
Those two, I swear, every week you never know what's going to happen. I will say, though, her urge to call him when something malfunctioned in her home life, I do that too. Hey, Eric, how do I do this? And he always knows the answer, and you can see all of his getting results at home on clickorlando.com. Now, we've been talking for a while about nurses having issues with burnout, certainly, especially since the pandemic. Now, Advent Health has a new program to help address that burnout. Bridget Ellison joins us now, and she has been looking into this. And Bridget, I'm excited to see this because I know that nurses carry such a heavy load, so this is really important.
It is. And so I went out to Advent Health where I learned about a new initiative that was actually born out of a small panel that was started after the pandemic. This was 2022. They formed a 9-nurse panel. It was nurses from all across their system. And so those 9 nurses came together sort of informally to talk about some of the ways that nurses could be better supported, ways that they could increase their idea, communication, and sort of the pipeline of, creating change to improve workflow, therefore improving patient care. And so now here it is, Nurses Month, and just in time for Nurses Month, you actually have Advent Health expanding their governance group. They have added 40 new nurses to the professional governance group. And so that group actually helps lead the whole entire operation. They're making their voices heard. Those 40 nurses help represent the 10,000 nurses in the system. So I talked to a couple of the members last week.
We're the frontline nurses. We're the ones that are actually, utilizing these tools. So we are the perfect person to come back to and give that feedback.
ICU nurse Gretchen Martinez is excited to be a voice for her fellow nurses. She's one of 40 nurses in the new professional governance group at Advent Health.
Oh yeah, they always come to me with ideas. I'm always in everyone's business and in every unit's business. I have the opportunity to work alongside great nurses that have great ideas.
Beth Bealey is a 20-year veteran of emergency room nursing. She works across 17 different locations as part of the float pool for Advent Health, giving her a wide scope of suggestions and ideas to share with the group.
We're here for the patients. We want to provide the patient with the best care, the best experience, because they are at their most vulnerable moments when they're here with us.
Chief Nursing Officer Kathy Stankiewicz says the inclusion of more nurses in the group builds support and communication across the system, which will help improve things such as workflow, safety, and patient care.
This professional governance is truly going to give us an opportunity to continue to grow that impact, to grow that influence, and really continue to make healthcare better.
And so by them meeting monthly in person, the nurses tell me they're excited for that opportunity to really commune with each other, fellowship with each other, and really have a safe place to talk about ideas and ways that, they can change policies, maybe learn how to use equipment more effectively and faster. And so that makes them more efficient, of course, because it is a very demanding job when you are a frontline nurse. And so one of the things that Advent Health is really proud of is their vacancy rate. They are at 3%, and they attribute that to things like the $100 million that they've invested in market pay, bonus initiatives, tuition assistance, loan repayment programs, support systems like this group, as well as mental health care, mentorship programs, as well as many other benefits and job incentives they have there. So they're definitely proud of the ways they're trying to support their nurses. That also includes built out care teams. So it's not just the nurses, it's thousands of PCTs, LPNs, and new nursing positions that they're constantly opening up. And so, we featured several of the nursing stories. And so we're wrapping up that nursing month here as we approach the end of the month.
And Bridget, I'm so impressed at the beginning of the story. You said that this started with a group of 9 nurses, and amazing that Advent Health listened to what these 9 individuals were saying and then built upon that, because like you said, these are frontline workers. When you're in the hospital or have a health crisis, it is those nurses that are with you. It seems like more than you see any other healthcare workers, and they do carry, a heavy load mentally, emotionally, physically with their job.
And sometimes, you may have an idea or something that could increase efficiency and maybe sometimes don't feel heard. And so this definitely gives a straight pipeline to communication to help make their voices heard across the board in all the different departments, as well as, get that feedback on things that maybe they need to help support them better.
Yeah, and our population is growing. Our population is aging, so there's only going to be a greater demand, and we need to keep our nurses feeling good and feeling healthy and feeling heard to take care of all of these needs.
And they hope that this will be a model to help inspire other hospital systems to, give greater governance to the nurses, since they represent such a big part of the workforce within the system. And so they're hoping that this professional governance group, which is over 100 members total from different departments, including those 40 nurses, that is a model that other hospitals and health systems will adopt, so that they can increase that communication and flow of ideas and ways that they can, change policies and work more efficiently.
Well, I love it. Great story, Bridget. So nice.
Thanks.
All right. We will see you later,
See you in a
Bridget.
bit.
Okay. Let's get a check of your forecast now for you. We are talking about more heat on the way with a few isolated showers. Now, some of you may have gotten a little bit of rain last night. It was late during the evening hours when we saw a few of those sea breeze storms popping that we thought might, and that forecast verified. We'll see more of the same today, I think. Here's what it looks like for you right now on the radar as we are scanning out. No showers to track just yet. The big story, the big weather headline is the heat. Now, today in Orlando, we are expecting a high of 96. That would tie the record set in 1935. Melbourne, you're going to the low 90s as well, thanks to an offshore flow. That kicks our temperatures even along the coast up a little bit warmer. Daytona Beach, you will likely tie a record, your record high 94, and Sanford, 96 is your forecast high, and the record is 95. That was set back in 2017. Right now, already a lot of us have climbed into the 90s at 1248, 90 in Ocala, 91 in the Villages, and 90 in Sanford. Again, we are talking about heat index readings around 100. If you step outside right now, this is how it will feel. It feels like 100 in Cocoa Beach. It feels close to 100 just about everywhere. And if you're in the Villages, it feels like 102 degrees. Our normal high this time of year is 89 degrees. We are going above that every single city in Central Florida. And by later this afternoon, again, we will continue to see those heat index numbers bumping up a few degrees. So if you are planning to have any of those practices or any outdoor activities, take a lot of breaks, find some shade, drink a lot of water. Heat like this can be dangerous. Clouds and rain forecasts rolling you through the afternoon hours. 3, 4 o'clock, we'll start to see a few isolated sea breeze showers popping. Everything eventually tracks back toward our coast. Most of us will not see rain, but again, a few lucky folks will get a few showers. As we take you out to the tropics, hurricane season officially begins June 1st, but we're now tracking our first tropical wave of 2025 that just came off the coast of Africa yesterday during the afternoon hours. No concern there, and we're not looking at any further development over the next several days. Here's how it looks for your next 7 days. We are talking about a better chance of rain headed our way on Thursday as a front moves in, bumping it up to 40%. Then behind that, we'll see highs in the lower 90s heading into this weekend. Still looking at a few isolated showers for our holiday weekend. Those overnight lows stay muggy in the 60s and 70s. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today on News 6 Extra. We always enjoy you stopping by. If you have any questions or comments for us, you can always let us know on clickorlando.com. We'll break down your forecast in much greater detail coming up starting on News 6 at 4. So we will see you then.